Hello, I'm Miss Sumita. Today, I got a video for you children in which we can talk about present continuous tense. Dear children, do you know how to form and use present continuous tense? The present continuous tense has many different usage and meanings. To form present continuous tense, we use be plus verb plus ing. The present continuous tense also is otherwise known as present progressive. Is a verb tense which is used to show an ongoing action which is happening right now. The present continuous tense can also be used to show that an action is going to take place in the near future. We also use this tense when we want to make clear that the action is temporary. This tense is also a great help for future arrangements. Dear students, it is good to know the usage of present continuous tense to enhance our spoken as well as written skills. Before we get started this topic, I request you all to have paper and pencil in front of you to write some important points to use them in your daily conversation. Let's see the usage of present continuous tense one by one with suitable examples. Number 1. Present continuous tense is used to talk about the action that is happening right now. For example, I am speaking to you and you are listening to me. Second example, Rohan and Rahul are speaking English. Now, let's move on to number 2. Something which has started but not finished also come under present continuous tense. For example, Renu is washing her clothes. This means she has started washing her clothes but she hasn't finished yet. Another example here, they are watching a film, which means they have started watching the film but they haven't finished yet. Now let's move on to number 3. If you have a picture or a photo and you want to describe it to someone, you use the present continuous tense. A picture or a photo is like a moment in time. That is why we use this present continuous tense to talk about it. For example, the policeman is helping the disabled person to cross the road. Now, number 4. We can also use the present continuous tense to talk about a situation which is changing over time. For example, the lockdown situation is improving gradually. In this sentence, we are talking about a change which is happening over time and which will probably continue into the future. If I say the population of a city is growing by around 5% a year, this means that I expect the population to continue growing, at least for the next few years. Now let's move on to number 5. Present continuous tense is to express future plans or arrangements. For example, what are you doing next week? Another example here, Rekha is going to a new school next term. Dear children, let us move on to number 6. Present continuous tense is used to talk about near future plans. For example, This year we are not going for a vacation due to COVID-19 pandemic coronavirus. Second example, the shops are going to open tomorrow onwards. Here, tomorrow is a near future. Number 7. Present continuous tense expresses about new feelings. For example, the people world over are feeling disgusted with prolonged lockdown. Please note, this is very rarely used in the present continuous tense. Now let's move on to number 8. This tense can be used while speaking about current trend. For example, shopping online is becoming popular these days. Now let's move on to number 9. Something which is new and contrasting with the previous state also come under present continuous tense. For example, what sort of clothes are teenagers wearing nowadays? Second example, what sort of music are they listening to? Now let's move on to number 10. Something which we think is temporary. For example, I am working in London for the next 2 weeks. Now let's move on to number 11. Something which is happening again and again. For example, they are always playing. Another example here, coastal Orissa is facing cyclone again and again. Let's move on to number 12. Something which is changing, developing or growing are also expressed in present continuous tense. For example, number 1, the climate is changing rapidly due to ecological imbalance. Second example, the children are growing up quickly. Third example, your English is improving. Now let's move on to number 13. We do not normally use the present continuous tense with stative or state verb. Stative verbs include thinking and feeling. Remember, the stative verbs cannot be used in present continuous tense form. It is used for an action that is occurring at the time of speaking. Now, let's move on to number 14. There are certain verbs that cannot be used in the present continuous tense. The following verbs are non-continuous. For example, for communication, we should not use these words such as agree, promise, surprise. Feelings like love, like and hate. Senses like hear, see, smell and taste. Thinking like believe, know and understand. Dear student, let's move on to number 15. What about negative and question sentences in present continuous tense? Let's discuss. Before getting into negative and questioning, let us know what are be forms. Be forms are am, is, are, being, was, were, been, being. Formation of present continuous tense is subject plus am or is or are plus V1 ing plus object. To make negative sentence, we need to add not after be verb. For example, the child is not participating in the debate competition. Another example here, he is not going home until Monday. Another example, they are not coming to the function. Now, to make question, we need to add am, is or are in front of the subject, and at the end of each sentence need to punctuate the sentences. For example, they're coming to visit us. This is positive statement. Question will be, are they coming to visit you? Punctuation mark. To make question in the present continuous tense, we don't add anything and don't add words like do or did, but just change the order of the words. By using WH word, we can frame a question. For example, where are they going and why are they coming? Dear students, let's recap the main ideas of the topic present continuous tense. Number 1, formation of the present continuous tense. Number 2, things happening at the time of speaking. Number 3, things that is unfinished. Number 4, describing a picture. Number 5, talking about a changing situation. Number 6, expressing future plans or arrangements. Number 7, future plan, temporary situation. Number 8, formation of negative and questioning statements. Hope you're ready for small test. So let's get into it. Number 1, you does learning English. Number 2, she does not watching television. Number 3, I does studying now. Number 4, Shreya is does a movie. Number 5, they does playing cricket now. In these sentences, kindly use the appropriate be verb. Have you done, children? Okay, let us discuss now. What's the first answer? The first answer is you are learning English. Remember, for this tense, we start with the subject. What is the subject here? You is the subject. And the be verb and then the verb ing. We already have ing here. So, we need the be verb. The subject in the first sentence is you. For you, we and they, we use the be verb are. So, the correct answer is you are learning English. Let's move on to question number 2. She does not watching television. This is the negative form of present continuous tense. We have the word not before the verb ing. However, we are missing the be verb again. What is the be verb used if the subject is she? The correct answer is she is not watching television. Now let's move on to question number 3. I does studying now. The subject here is I. Again, think of the be verb that goes with the subject I. Here, the be verb is am. Answer is I am studying now. We can also use a conjunction and say I am studying now. If we want to turn this into negative form, we can also say I am not studying now. Now let's move on to number 4. Shreya is watch does a movie. Here we have the subject and the subject pronoun for Shreya would be she. We have to correct be verb. However, you notice we forgot the ing at the end of the verb. We need to say watching. Therefore, it is correct to say that Shreya is watching a movie. Now let's move on to last question. That's number 5. They does play cricket now. They, what is missing here? It is a be verb missing, and the correct answer is they are playing, because the subject is they. Therefore, the verb should agree with the subject of plural form. That's it all. Thank you.